What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. It has been so long since I picked this camera up, and honestly, I have missed you guys. I have missed filming videos. The GTR is still here. She's perfect. I know I kind of left you guys on a cliffhanger. I haven't gotten it dynoed yet, but the car is 100% back together. She's pretty much perfect, and I've honestly been daily driving this thing for, what, 2 or 3 months now? I haven't had any issues other than my radiator blowing out, because if you guys know, on these things, the end tanks are plastic, and they're notorious for cracking eventually. So it left me stranded once. Well, once again, GTR broke and we gotta get her towed home. So my boy is here. He's gonna save the day. We're gonna get her back home. Damn it. My luck kind of sucks. Oh, yeah, that's coolant. Yeah, it should be okay. It's been sitting for like probably an hour and 15. Kind of ripped the lip a little bit, but it's all right. Which wasn't the best, but other than that, it's been pretty bulletproof. I ended up throwing 2-layer or 2-core coil rad in it, and yeah, since the radiator replacement, which wasn't too hard to do, she's been really good. Still pretty perfect. I got the AC recharged, so the AC blows cold. We got an alignment on her. But you guys saw by the title of the video, we gotta lower this thing. There's way too much gap in between the tires and the fender. If you guys see that, there's about 2 fingers, and that's not good. And this car has about 100,000 miles on it, and the suspension definitely needs refresh. The rear is completely blown out. When I'm on the highway, I can hear the shock. Pretty sure it lost all the fluid in it, and yeah, it's pretty clapped out. The front left is very squeaky. So what I did is I went on the R35 forums and I found a used set off of 2014, which I believe are different than the 09 and 10s. Low miles, and it has lowering springs. The lowering springs are only gonna drop at about 1 inch. I just love the factory setting, being able to put it in comfort mode and softening the ride up. So I wanted to maintain that. That's why I didn't go with coilovers. Plus I got a stupid deal. As you guys know, I'm trying to build this thing as cheap as I possibly can, but with quality parts. So we got OEM shocks. I wanna say, I think they're Swift Spec R springs on 2014 suspension. That's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna replace the suspension. It's probably gonna beat me up a little bit, as it's been a minute since I've wrenched on this thing, and to get to the rear shock, the top, you have to rip apart the interior. So we're gonna rip apart the interior. The front shouldn't be too bad. I've literally had this thing apart so many times that I don't think the front's gonna take me that long. And I promise, once this thing is dialed, I think suspension is really the only thing left I wanna do to this thing. I say that, there's a lot I wanna do. I wanna do carbon side skirts, I wanna do a carbon hood, I wanna do a new front end, I wanna refresh the interior. There's a lot I still wanna do. And Brian and I, my tuner, we're still dialing this thing in and getting it absolutely 100%. She rips. It is super, super fast. I think this thing is gonna look so much better once it's lowered. She is a monster truck right now. All right, boys, let's check out this new/used suspension. Honestly, I'm always about balling on a budget and trying to find the best deal possible. And like, yeah, I could have bought coilovers for this thing, but the fact that I found nice used OEM stuff for 300 bucks shipped with lowering springs. I think the lowering springs alone are like $500 or $600. So let's take a gander. Oh, and he wrapped them nice. Man, such a W seller. Boom. See what these bad boys look like. Now, they're a little dirty. I knew that from the photos when I bought them, but they are low miles, and they're gonna make the GTR lower, which is all I want. Oh, they honestly look pretty mint. All right, so we got one of the fronts. Honestly, it looks mint. And I'll show you guys a comparison once I get the stocks off. Yep, Swift springs for the front. What are these? Yeah, this is a rear, I think. Got another rear. All right, boys, so I got them all laid out and they just need a good cleaning, but they're in super good condition. I'm pretty sure my right rear is completely blown out. None of these are blown out. Springs look in really good shape. They just need a bit of a cleaning, but visually they're the same as the ones I have on the car. So hopefully we don't run into any issues with the install, but I guess we'll find out. Not bad for 300 bucks. Boom, baby. All the upgrades. And it's like, it's not a budget car, but it's kind of a budget build. And if you guys are patient and you look for parts and you hunt Facebook Marketplace, which is God's gift to this earth, if I had to pick one app to keep for the rest of my life, Facebook Marketplace, baby. All right, let's get this thing jacked up and see if the car beats me up today. And it's hot, dude. It's way too hot right now. But like in an hour, it's probably gonna be like fucking 20 degrees. Colorado, dude. Dude, still not hot enough. Boom! Boom!
I'm high off the perks and pills. I'm high off the perks again. Don't see how they're scared of them. They've always been my friends. Paranoia highs, they never end. Day out and day in, I have them again. They don't know how it feels to be in my skin. Detached from your body and in a bed. My baby, she helps me not.
So if you guys can see that right there, that is actually designed to lift the rear of the car. So I went ahead, put the jack underneath and use that to lift the rear end of the car. Alright boys, so here's how she sits. Got all the wheels and tires off and got her on jack stands. And now, since I've had this front end apart so many times, I think it's gonna be easiest to start with the fronts, just since I know what I'm doing, I know what I need to take off. So if you guys have never removed the suspension on an R35, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the axle nut off. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that nut off the top of the tie rod. I'm gonna take this bolt off of the control arm. We're gonna take the sway bar off down there, and then we should be able to swing this out of the way enough to get this shock out. Shouldn't be that bad. And you guys can tell these things are so blown out. They have about 100,000 miles on them. They're probably long overdue to get changed. We're gonna give her a nice little upgrade, and she's gonna be lower. Alright, so I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a comparison between my old shocks and the new / used shocks. You can see the boots in here are completely torn. These are super crusty and desperately needed to be replaced. So you compare the two, the boots on the insides are pretty mint on the new ones. Plus you can see they are a little bit lower. Obviously these are the lowering springs, so it's gonna sit about an inch lower. Let's throw this in and move to the other front.
Wish I never let you in. Thought you wanna be my friend, but I think we'll be better if it ends. That way we can make amends. That way we don't think about the past. Think about the past right now. 2055, carrying it on. Off the X pill, I can go outside on my Swedish side. Think I lost my mind. I've been getting high way too much. She wanna see the world with me. Gotta tell her something that's gonna make her wanna see me. I got cash, so I'm flexing now. She just wanna break it now. Thought you was a ride or die. You wasn't do it, dog. Do it something. Want me to do it something now. Want me to kill something. Want me to kill something now, yeah. I'm at the shop down, yeah. Serve them down the frog down. Wish I never let you in. Thought you wanna be my friend, but I think we'll be better if it ends that way.
Well, that's one way to do it. Ew, these ones are so crusty. Look at all that gunk. Yeah, these things were toast. toasted and roasted. But we got the fronts all done, we got the rears done, we got everything hooked up. The only thing that I don't have done is the interior back together, but honestly I think I'm gonna leave it for about a day or two to let the suspension settle and then go back through and retighten the top nuts, just to make sure that I don't have to rip the interior apart again and to make sure everything is dialed. But I bolt checked everything. We got to throw the wheels back on, drop it back on the ground. The old suspension was absolutely blown. 2 of them were leaking, 2 of them were just super crusty. I think these are gonna be a great upgrade for the GTR and it's gonna look better. So let's get the wheels thrown on. I wanna take this thing to the gym and I need to leave here in about 30 minutes. He's lowered. Ooh! Damn, that looks good. I can't remember what it was before, but now it's about a 1 finger gap, and obviously the suspension's gotta settle, so it's probably gonna get just a little bit lower. The final piece to this puzzle before I go to the gym. Boom, the seller of the suspension had one of these sitting around, and if you guys have seen this, it's pretty naked. Now I'm gonna hook it up after I do this, but you all ready? Boom! Clickety boom. Now she's complete. All right, let's start this beast up. Alright boys, so I just pulled up, the sun is going down, and I wanted to show you guys the GTR all finished up. Now I still got to put the interior back in. Sitting here looking at this car, it's crazy because it's been almost a year since I bought this car. I think it's been just over a year, and the journey with this thing has been so long, and I fought so hard to get the car in this condition. Now there's still a few things I want to do to her, but she's like 95% perfect. There's still hail damage on the roof. She looks so good. The ride height is perfect. The new suspension is amazing. So when I finally finished the car, I got the AC recharged, I got an alignment, and I got the wheels and tires balanced. I told you guys it shook above 60 miles an hour. That's gone. The car drives so good. I don't even think I need to get it realigned. It drives straight. It doesn't pull any weird directions. Here is the GTR. She looks so good. Oh, look at the ride height. She's still got a little bit of, you know, you can still, she's a little loose. It has just come together, and we finally got side markers put in. And I'm sure most of you guys have GTRs that are watching this, but if you don't and the GTR is your dream car, go get one. This is an 09. It's literally the first year they came out. It is everything in a car that I could have imagined. If you are new here, it is on Nismo turbos. It's on fully 85, and it probably makes somewhere around 700 wheel. I haven't put it on a dyno yet, and I think they're only going to continue to get more expensive and more rare, and the parts are already expensive. I don't think this car will ever leave me. It's been such a long journey, and at some point, I promise you, I don't know what I'm going to build next. I don't know if this thing is going to be the full build, but at some point in my lifetime, I'm going to strip this thing down to a bare chassis, repaint it from the ground up. Every nut and bolt's gonna get refreshed, and this car is gonna be basically brand new. I'm saying it now, it's gonna happen. I love it so much. Nothing will ever replace it or compare. Like, I'm sure I'll own more cars. I really want a G80 M3 X-Drive because I feel like that's kind of the modern GTR, and the S58s are just so sick. But the VR38, it's a beautiful motor. This car is just, it's so good. So one last look at her. I envisioned it. This is literally exactly how I wanted the car to look. Interior, it still needs to be put in. The amount of stuff that you guys have to take out to put the rear shocks on is crazy, but it shouldn't be that hard to throw everything back in. She sits pretty nice. The fitment, I'd give it like 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Not terrible, not the best. Let's go rip this thing home.